Brandon's obviously home for me. It's been home for a long time. It's a place I learned to love the game. Outdoor rinks just down the street there. Sometimes I'd go there on my skates, and skate there. So, no, it's one of my favorite places in the world.
In hockey, hometowns feel like they go beyond simply being where a player's from. The city, the town, or village is not just a starting point, but rather part of the support group along the journey. To make it, the athlete is almost always forced to leave home. However, if they're fortunate, there's a full circle moment where the past meets the present in celebration. This is Zach Whitecloud, VGK Origins.
Sweet.
There you go.
All right, thanks guys. Appreciate it. How are you guys? I'm right here. I'm right here. Look right down there.
Oh yeah.
Right at the very bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't like it.
Does it look funny? Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
That's so
Appreciate it very much. I think it'll be fine. Hopefully it doesn't break the glass. We're at my mom's place here where, still my childhood home. It's not often we get back for a long stretch of time, but come back at, weeks at a time in the summers and it kind of just reminds you of growing up.
The roots of Brandon, Manitoba run deep in agriculture and sports. Its cold winters offering Canada's pastime a natural arena. Almost organically, Zach and hockey found each other.
My parents did a lot in terms of, putting me through hockey and doing whatever they could in terms of work schedules and traveling on the road and hotels and all that sort of stuff to be able to allow me to play the game and find a passion for it, right? And obviously now a career. So a lot of that starts with the outdoor rink here in the backyard, and we put up my dad.
So I started off small when he was 3, just probably 12 by 6 outdoor rink, just with 2 by 6s. And then as he got older, like when he got to 7, 8, 10, the rink expanded.
He even started painting the lines in to kind of make it feel like an actual hockey rink, which obviously was exciting for us guys. And when I come home to it, you kind of realize just how small the space is and kind of what they made do with, right? And it was always nice being able to step out your back door and just go right on the ice. So it was a place where you can go warm up just inside real quick and a couple minutes in there and then head back out. And then obviously just a lot of memories with my buddies growing up. We were able, as younger kids, to be able to skate here first, and then as we got older, we moved to the outdoor rink and stuff like that, and slowly made our way up.
Always had to go get him. Told him to be home by 8. You got school tomorrow, and I always had to go get him, and he'll just say like 10 more minutes, Dad, 10 more minutes, and he loved being out on the ice, and right from I think 10. Same with the backyard, you'll always have to call them in.
It's always cool to be able to come back and just see where you grew up and, rifling pucks through that window and it's awesome. It's cool.
Break that window?
At some point, yeah. It might not have been me, it might have been one of my buddies, but we'll never know.
Ignoring frozen toes, those backyard games scored a love for hockey. Zach's passion for the sport would be rivaled by little else. One of the exceptions was a commitment to his heritage and Sioux Valley Dakota Nation.
I've always been proud to be Native American and Indigenous and where I come from and who our people are, what our people have gone through, and what our people continue to do now. So I've always been proud of that, made sure that, not with specific intention, but paying extra attention to detail on those sorts of things and being involved community-wise, making sure I go back in the summers, whether it's to our community powwow or going back like last evening to make sure that people just know that I recognize their support face to face and just ask how their days are going and all that sort of stuff, right? That I think that means a lot, and I'm always happy to be able to go home and do that.
Zach Whitecloud's foundation extended beyond Brandon's city limits. Growing up, the Indigenous community provided support. When he reached the top of the mountain, his elders celebrated in ways dictated by tradition.
The teepee is a family teepee, and it's used for special functions, and so they wanted to put it up for, and just to emphasize the Aboriginal or the Indigenous side. Actually, it takes quite a lot of work to put it up as well, too. So this is just honoring Zach, and the family really wanted to see him and honor him and speak to him, because we don't see him very often, right? Because he's so busy now. So that's really what this is all about. And it's actually my sister arranged a lot of it, but we all have to pitch in and set everything up. So it took a while.
This teepee door was made for my father at his one-year memorial. And we brought it out. It's 38 years old. My brother keeps it. I asked him if we could hang it so that it would be here representing Zach and the family and my father today. And this is a picture of my father right here and my mother. But the grandfather that Zach is named after is our great-grandfather. That's my dad's father. His name is Mahbiaska. That's our original name, is Mahbiaska. And loosely translated into English, which the Indian agent did, was Whitecloud. This here is called an ijapsinta, which is, in our language, is whip man, or a whip. And what that did was kept order in community gatherings, at meetings, at whatever, any kind of community function. This represents the flag that he fought under in the Second World War. This represents the bonnet he wore when he was chief of our people. These are eagle feathers. These are plumes, and these are the small feathers that were put on this door representing everything he did in his lifetime to help our people in our community. He probably gave away maybe 25 horses in his lifetime, which we do when we're honoring someone. And eventually we'll do that with Zach also. And these are small medallions that were beaded. This is old style Dakota, and that's horsehair, representing all of the horses that he ever gave away, but it's also the horses for us, our spiritual animals that help us. Hence the reason why Zach is riding a horse there. And so that's why we brought this out today, to show the history of where Zach comes from.
I've just always been another proud person to be proud of where I come from and who our people are. And just our culture, our traditions, and just our practices. I think for any person that's from whatever background you are, whether what your family chooses to do or where your people are from, whatever it is, always be proud of that. Always be proud of home, where you grew up, and where your ancestors come from.
We all benefit from his success, especially the young people, and that's the most important thing for us. Because that's our role in life, is to be a good relative our entire life and do what we need to do to uplift our people that come behind us and ahead of us. It's much more than just winning a cup. It's much more than winning a game. It's an accomplishment for everybody and all of the support he's received so that he could get there. So it's a community-wide, actually nationwide. That's why we have relatives here from Alberta and Saskatchewan and North Dakota and other places that are here today, because this is how important it is to them. They'll come even if it's just for an hour.
All 62 First Nations are very proud of you, Zach, and that we support you. And you see it here today with all the people that have come to be able to witness such an honor of you bringing the Stanley Cup to Sioux Valley, your home community.
For all these young people here to watch this day, that you grew up on a First Nation and in a little town and skated in all these little rinks. You provide hope for our people. Thank you for giving us hope today. Miigwech.
It's just super cool to be able to, see firsthand the support. Tons and tons of people showed up, and jerseys and flags and Stanley Cup banners, and everyone just loves the team and loves watching us play, and Sioux Valley's been, just the support and just, the help with growing up through hockey. They've always been there.
Zach Whitecloud is not the story of a phenom's dominating rise. Whitecloud's talent would not match his spirit until his later teens. A move to the small town of Virden on the Manitoba-Saskatchewan border to play junior hockey introduced him to yet another new family.
You know, billet families don't get as much credit as they do, and I had, you know, I'm biased, but I had, you know, the best one you could get. And funny enough, my auntie on my mom's side had worked with my billet mom, and she was the one who told me. She said, hey, reach out, request for the Forsters.
We've laughed about it many times because I said, you could have had a good billet home, but your Auntie Teresa directed you here. Anyways, it was great. We were very, very fortunate. He's just a great person. You know, often, even nights when I'll text him and say, oh my gosh, Zach, such a great game, you know, you did. And he'll always turn the conversation around and ask, hey, how are you guys? What are you doing? What's new in the family? What's new in Virden? And he's very humble.
Zach's growth was not limited to the rink. The evolving hockey player displayed personal development.
Growing up in a prairie province, you're around farmers, you know a farmer, you know how their lives are and that sorts of stuff, right? You know, 24/7. And it was always just something I kind of had an eye for. And then when, you know, Karen came to me with the job, Chad had mentioned something about it, or if Karen had asked him if he needed help, and you know, they were nice enough to give a kid that hadn't worked on a farm or anything like that, and just kind of, you know, hired me, right, and allowed me to work.
She said that, well, you know, Zach's looking for, you know, something to keep him busy, do a little bit of work, and she said he loves being outdoors and has some farming background, and do you have anything to do on the farm? And it's like, oh, are you kidding me? Yeah, I got stuff to do. So she lined us up, and you know, Zach being Zach, he takes everything to heart, and he's 100% in everything. So not only would he feed the cows, he would come out and we'd get home from work and he would be sitting at the table with our kids, and he was awesome, like an absolute wonderful guy to have around. And he would do his coursework with them, and then they'd play a few games of Uno before supper, and then he'd say, okay, Karen will have supper on the table, and he'd head off.
Most times, it was to the arena. The young defenseman did more than make the team. He blossomed, showing a combination of fast developing skill and maturity.
You know, being in the area and being Westman, you see a lot of kids. So actually seen Zach start playing probably at age 10, 12 that way out of Brandon. I think in AAA midget he made some huge strides in his game and really improved his game. And definitely towards the end of that second year of his AAA midget season, it was pretty evident he was a talented player. I felt personally he carried himself like a professional even at a young age. Like he was one of the younger guys on the team, and he was not intimidated by the moment. When he went on the ice, he played the game the right way and definitely had confidence, but wasn't cocky, and definitely exuded that ability that could play at a higher level for sure. Like his ability to move the puck and his gap control and stuff. He came here very much game ready. You know, he sharpened those tools, but definitely they were there in the toolbox, and just his skating improved in his time as Virden for sure. You look at his rounded personality and his skills and abilities, and the biggest thing is his humbleness. You know, he's never forgot where he come from. He's never forgot, you know, the people along the way, and that's a real big trait.
I played the game for fun, not to, you know, one day get to the NHL, because I was never, to me it wasn't realistic. So that's why I always say when people ask me, you know, like, what was hockey like for you growing up, and for me it was just fun. Like I just went and played. There was no sense of like urgency or a reason to go out there and worry about not succeeding or whatever it was, right? There's no stress. Now, obviously, that's a little bit different. I think when I truly realized that I could, you know, make something out of hockey was probably my first year of university.
Tell us, first of all, your journey to Bemidji State, when you found out who was recruiting you hard, and then that decision.
My journey here, I guess it wasn't an easy one. I mean, it definitely took a while to kind of get out on the college route and figure things out. You know, I didn't really discover the college route until about 17, 18 years old, so a little later than most. But, you know, my coach and juniors really helped me out and helped me with my video and the recruiting process and everything. So that's definitely how I got myself down here.
Another step up the hockey ladder did not shed the small town theme. Zach enrolled in Bemidji State University, located in northern Minnesota, where the influence of the school pushed the population close to 15,000 people.
Play, they get it to Whitecloud. Whitecloud fights with the puck, shoots, scores! What a shot by Zach Whitecloud. The Beavers go up 2-1.
2 seasons of NCAA competition transitioned a young boy who played for the most basic reasons into a player drawing attention from scouts working in the best league in the world. From a backyard rink, Zach Whitecloud was about to make front-page headlines. The National Hockey League was calling.
It's been 2 very, very good years, and it's tough to leave, but exciting things ahead. And just trying to make everyone proud that helped me along the way to get to Bemidji and who here helped me get to the NHL. So it's a day that's kind of validating to the work and the ups and downs you've gone through. But and I mean, no one's told me yet, but it's pretty obvious to any athlete the work's only begun.
After 2 years at Bemidji State, Zach Whitecloud took a major step. This young man from a small community in Manitoba turned professional, joining the expansion Vegas Golden Knights.
I was given an opportunity by, obviously, George and Kelly to again, be able to sign an entry-level contract and kind of start my journey there. I think that's probably where it truly started and fully realized that there was an opportunity to, one day play in the NHL.
And of course, I knew Zach and the family because of their involvement with the Wheat Kings. And I remember watching Zach his 17-year-old season with the Brandon Midgets, and thinking, Zach might be able to, play, junior A hockey. I think, fitness, he, really, began to focus on that. I think his skating really improved because of that. Smart player. The beautiful thing or the tricky thing about player development, it's never a straight line, and it could be different for one player compared to another. The player that might be the best there is at 15 years old maybe doesn't develop the same way as a guy that starts his development curve a little bit later. And I think that's what we saw with Zach. But really, he took another big step once he got to the American League. And it was interesting, he was partnered with Nick Hague.
When we met, it would have been development camp here. I think we were both single at the time, kind of first time away from home really, and then lived in Chicago. Not together, but spent a lot of time together there, but it's been cool kind of the way we've grown up together. And we were D partners that entire year in Chicago, the year we went to the finals. First year pro, I thought that was really good for us. We talk about intensity and it all heightens in the playoffs. So that was another level that we had not been to yet, which I think ultimately helps us prepare to make the NHL. And then when we get in the playoffs in the NHL, it's that same kind of heightened intensity. I think we clicked, pretty seamlessly there. We killed penalties and, got put in, those situations that you want as a player, like, last minute of the game, whether we're up or down or whatever. But that's what's kind of cool about the A. Like, you never know if you're, going to be good enough to make that next jump, or all you can really do is, show up every day and put your best foot forward and keep working at it, and then when you do get your call, you take advantage.
Whitecloud developed rapidly, rising through 4 different levels in the span of just 2 years. This late bloomer was suddenly on the fast track, requiring only 2 seasons in the American Hockey League before arriving in Las Vegas and the NHL. The glare of the National Hockey League was new. However, leaning on a game in its purest form served as a foundation.
There's a shot right wing, and they score. Guess who? Zach Whitecloud. His first National Hockey League goal, and this one's tied at 4.
Checking the boxes that go with becoming a full-time NHLer, Whitecloud developed into being an important member of an elite defensive unit, a valuable part of a contending franchise. As the stakes grew, so did Zach's poise and performance.
Takes it to the wall, centers, and a shot goes in, they score!
All those games in the backyard, climbing the ladder through junior hockey and college, had led him to hockey's biggest stage. the National Hockey League, playing for the Stanley Cup.
Everyone that follows this team, I think they've known that we've come into the season with a chip on our shoulder and something to prove, not only to ourselves but to our fan base. And there's a belief in our group that we can get any job done.
Drop by Whitecloud, score!
Have you made it?
No, I've never been asked that. No, I got obviously, hopefully, I got a lot of years left in me in terms of hockey, and no, I think having said making it, I think implies satisfaction.
Self-motivated, supported by multiple communities and cultures, Zach Whitecloud reached the top.
One cool moment that we did have together was with Will Nickel, actually, who has known both of us since we came into the organization. And it's a cool kind of full circle, this is everything we've always worked for, and it's all of our dreams coming true in one moment. Yeah, I think it's just little things like that. You kind of take a brief moment and reflect on kind of everything that, got us to that point.
Something you've dreamt of as a kid, and pretending I've won it on the backyard rinks and right in Manitoba and out there in minus 40-degree weather. Can't feel my feet, my hands, and you think about those times, right? It's where the passion for the game grew, right? And it's just, there's a lot of words and no words.
It's incredibly heartwarming, quite frankly. It's a real story of accomplishment, and couldn't happen to a better person. He's as you all know him, he's a tremendous young guy, and he's a real important part of our organization. Brandon are happy for him. He's a great story for Brandon, and you were part of the celebration at Sioux Valley. I think he has tremendous impact on the Indigenous community and the reserve where his family would have grown up, and I think that he's a role model for young people.
Very proud that he carries himself that way, and really takes a lot of pride in representing not only himself, our family, but the Knights and the city of Las Vegas. This is home for him now, so he carries himself at the highest upstanding citizen level that can be achieved. So we're very proud of him for carrying himself like that.
I'm super excited for the Cup, but Zach's just our Zach. Everybody else is he's an NHL star, and I'm he's just our Zach.
He's a family man. He's, you can tell, the things that he really cares about and his values, and that shines through, through one conversation with him.
Zach has experienced the journey of a lifetime. A trip inspired by a basic love for the game. It shouldn't be surprising, along the way of his travels, the roadside is lined with as much admiration for Zach from Brandon as Whitecloud, the Stanley Cup champion. Every journey has a story. Every story has a beginning.